Hello, my name is Christopher Morris. I drive the number 38 Ford F-150 with Snowy Desert Racing.
Christopher got to see that of Christopher Morris moving to a different team. It's a strong team to watch out for.
They'll be contending for no doubt needed.
We didn't need overtime, but the wrecking behind. It's gonna be up front. Christopher Norris, Cody Reed, the bump. He needs the help. Cody Reed slides up. He merges. He snaps across the line. It's Christopher Norris. Norris wins.
Christopher Norris wins for a second time in his career. The thank you, Norris, 140. Well, Norris will be thanking the field for a win and a lock into the next round. Christopher Norris is into the Elite Eight. The scares, the woes, it all comes tumbling down. Norris isn't going to be another winner 3 times this season. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Freaky Fast Broadcasting on your Monday night, your last one of 2024, and it's going to be a barn burner that you do not want to miss. Tonight, we give you the coverage of the ISRC Larry R Productions Truck Series Season 7 Championship. Tonight's race is an important one. We get to crown a champion. It's down to 2 drivers that are left on the board to have enough points mathematically to take the win or to find a way to steal it at the end. There's going to be some ridiculous possibilities that could happen, but there's one driver for sure that looks to be the favorite to watch out for. But tonight's race, it is going to be your championship JDF Performance Mod 150 here at Chicagoland. The ISRC Championship race is about to be underway. It's the 11 of John Forbes coming in with a 23-point buffer over Vincent Sora. Will it be Vincent Sora tying as a 2-time champion, or will it be John Forbes cementing himself as the greatest driver in this series with his 3rd championship going back to back to back? We get to find out here this evening. Again, thank you for joining with us here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. My name is Sam Dyer, and joining me in the booth, as always, is Zach Hall. And Zach, it's been a wild season. We've seen plenty of different drivers pop up, but we're down to the final 2. If you look at the stats, they're the top 2 in almost everything, and it's now down to see who will be hoisting the Season 7 championship.
It has come that time that it is, Sam. Final race of the season, and like you said, those 2 have put themselves in a category of their own this season, and it definitely shows the reason why they got here if you look at the stats. So we'll see who has the, who gets it done. I mean, Forbes, of course, the odds-on favorite with the gap he has built up, and rightfully so with the playoffs he's had, the season he's had. He's had everything go the right way when the 11 has needed it to go the right way, and I think that's going to be very critical here too when we get into this race tonight, because I think really he just needs to make sure nothing crazy happens. If nothing crazy happens, I think he's got this thing locked up. We could even get to the stage and kind of get a better feeling of where we're going to be. But if you're Vincent Sora, I think you got to be on attack from the green flag and trying anything possible to get up there and take away points from that 11. Because if he goes out there, qualifies on pole, and just kind of goes out there and dominates this race, you're going to definitely not have no opportunity to close that gap down.
Yeah, if John Forbes has a John Forbes race, it is simply over. But for Vincent Sora, he knows that there still is a slim chance. He's going to need some help. But also, you might have noticed that we had a little bit of a different intro. You saw the Christopher Norris tribute video. A couple of drivers announcing throughout the last couple of weeks they are not returning. And it kind of feels like an end of an era for some of these drivers. A lot of veterans that have been here since season 1 past champions, drivers that have had heroic high moments, now deciding to say, you know what, life is moving on. It's time to move to greater pastures. And it's crazy to see that these drivers are moving on in a league that, you know, Zach, it's kind of rare to see a league last this long. Make it to season 7, and for a lot of drivers to be here since season 1, this is going to be incredible to see a final farewell for some of these drivers.
It is definitely going to be awesome to see a final farewell for some of these veterans, man. Like you said, past champions, past winners. It's really just been the who's who of you know, making all the amazing stories that come along with this league. It's not this you know, this league is a little different than I'd say a lot out there. This league's kind of more of a family environment, more where, you know, it's a friendship group, and it's really, you know, kept a lot of these people together. And like you said, sometimes in life things pop up, schedules change, you got to just go to a different, you know, route and change up the way things work. And you know, a few of these guys will be stepping away, so it's tough to see them go, but we were glad to have him. I think is the biggest thing that ISRC is going to take away from that. So we'll see how they perform tonight to close out their careers, but it's definitely a great time to be honoring those few that won't be coming back.
Here's one of those past champions, hoisted the championship back in season 4. It's the 74 Nick Crawford. As we're underway with qualifying, all drivers had 5 minutes to get a qualifying time in, and they've got 2 laps to get that fast time. But if they hit the wall, go off course, spin out, that will then invalidate their lap time. But for Nick Crawford, hoping for a good hurrah for the 74 to finish out season 7. Some of these drivers, it's been a rough one at times. Nick Crawford, though, it's been a pretty great season. If you take away John Forbes and Vincent Sora, Crawford would be the next driver in line. Was the 3rd highest if you looked at top 10 numbers, top 5 numbers, tied with 2nd with 2 wins in the points in the win column. And it's been a great season, you could say, for Nick Crawford. As currently with the first laps coming in, it's Samuel Garcia with the 50 machine going to be top of the board as Crawford gets set up for lap number 1. It looks like the majority of the field, they're waiting for that last minute take off and go because they want this track to cool off just a little bit more.
It's always fun to see the games played with that. You know, I as a driver myself, the first thing you're doing as that qualifying session opens is looking at that weather tab. You're trying to see what's the track temp looking like. Are we going to see some clouds be coming in, because you get the conditions in a forecast. A lot of times it's not, you know, very variable and changing, but 1 to 2 degrees of a track temp can change big things. And I think that's why you see a lot of these drivers wait to the last minute, is try to see if that track does cool down. And I can confirm it has been slowly cooling off. So you're going to see probably some bigger lap times here as Nick Crawford right now does sit atop the timesheet. I think the one we got to watch, though, of course, is this 11 fastest in practice. And from what I've heard, the rumblings, this is he's been very, very quick too in some C-fix races around this track. So I think the 11 again, once again, going to be the favorite tonight.
Comparing by driving with some of the best out there, John Forbes, I mean, a career that we've seen from season 1 all the way through. Thought maybe he was going to grab that first championship for himself all the way back in season 2. Unfortunately got taken out on the first lap of that race. It took him all the way until season 5 to hoist the championship. Then did it again last season for season 6. And here tonight, a very good possibility we're going to be seeing that 11 machine back into victory lane, hoisting another championship. Speaking about other championships and drivers stepping away, here's the 2 machine of Danny Cochran, announced a couple of weeks back with Christopher Norris on the fact of stepping away from full-time racing in this series. Danny won the championship back in season 3 with this exact scheme, had a little bit of a different number, ran the 31 that season. But Danny Cochran hoping to get this 2 machine into victory lane, as he was saying he's going to try his best. He's either going to find himself in victory lane or probably wrecked up in the trailer. This 2 has been wanting to win all season long, and tonight at a track that he's seen great success at in the past, he's hoping for victory. But currently he's going to qualify in 5th position as John Forbes still top of the board by almost 1/10 over Vincent Sora.
That big lap, because I can tell you there's not a lot of difference. You can see, I mean, from 2nd to about 5th, there's literally a couple hundredths of a second separating those guys. So I mean, literally less than 100th of a second, my bad. So it's kind of crazy. So it's very, very close. And now even throw Presley right there in the mix too, right there slotting into 6th, just shows you, I mean, all 6 of these guys are, you know, 5 of these drivers are right on top of each other, but John Forbes still that sizable gap. So just showing he's got it dialed in so far. Let's see if Thomas Green, though, can sets up them. He's had some great speed this season so far.
The Planet Sim Racing teammates of Jarrett Talmadge. Thomas Green going to be the last few to qualify, as crossing the line for the 18 machine. It's going to be 10th fastest for himself. His teammate of Jarrett Talmadge hoping for a little bit of a bigger pickup. Not going to be as big enough for the pole, but good enough for the top 10. 7th goes to Jarrett Talmadge. Tyler Dangler, Dakota Moniz, both deciding not to put a qualifying time in. We'll see how well they can climb through the field as qualifying finishes up. Warm-up practice as well. And this means we are heading into our warm-up, where drivers are going to have 5 minutes to get a little last-minute practice in, as well as give us a clear picture of telling you how this season has gone. It's crazy to think 17 races are in the books, and it means that we are time to crown a brand new champion. For season 7, it was down now to just 2 drivers. They changed up the point system on how it was being worked. They changed it from elimination based to where we would have final 4 racing in the final race to a chase system where we had 6 races to figure out who'd have the most points at the end of the day. John Forbes entered the playoffs with a 22-point advantage entering, just because of bonus points, with stage bonus points, race wins. The 11 was on top, but trying to catch him was Vincent Sora, and tonight's the last hurrah, Zach, for the 15 if he wants a chance to catch up to John Forbes.
That it is. He has to pull everything out of the bag to try. I mean, he's done well so far. He's qualified second. I mean, it's the gap's big, so we'll see if he can close in the race. The draft is going to be huge here tonight, and that'll be a huge factor. But John's just been excellent at winning races, man. He's got those 6 wins. I think that's the one thing that really has separated him from Vincent. They've both been so consistent this season, but Forbes has been able to win those races in the critical moments where Vincent Sora's just been kind of lacking in those final few moments of the race, unfortunately. So we'll see if he can close it out tonight. But John Forbes, I think, is looking to take a demanding win with that qualifying lap put down.
And I know for Vincent Sora, it has been a frustrating season of looking back and seeing the fact that you finished second so many times. As we take a look at their schedule of how the season has ran down that way, Vincent Sora was looking back at the stats. He has finished second 5 times this season. He finished second at Homestead back at race number 2, and then at Michigan, and then he went on a tear of his last 3 second place finishes were behind John Forbes at race number 9 at Auto Club, 10 at New Hampshire, and then race 14 at North Wilkesboro. It has just been a Vincent Sora seeing the back bumper of the 11, and here tonight he's got to make sure he's ahead of John Forbes and hope that bad luck strikes. But looking at how the schedule's been, I feel like we've said it each and every week. The first half, very diverse on who was getting into victory lane. We never knew, but once John Forbes did it back in race 9, that's when he flipped the switch, and it's been the championship run from race 9 all the way down to here to 18.
That really was when the flip was kind of switched. I mean, I personally could even go back to last season. It seemed like where the flip was switched with John Forbes. He really kind of butted into a superstar. I mean, he had always been a race winner and always been right up front, but he just kind of took it to that next level, and it's been impressive. So we'll see if he can make it 3 times in a row, because before he won 2 in a row, nobody had been a double-time champion. So he's going to do something that no one else has done again.
He's been breaking all the trends that we've looked at in the past. He's hoping to break another one here tonight as warm-ups down to our final 2 minutes. This is usually our time where we have our pick-ems. Who do we feel like are drivers to watch out for? I feel like, Zach, both myself, you, and Robert, we were deciding on who was going to be the driver that maybe was going to win this championship. Unanimously, it's John Forbes. I mean, he is the man to watch out for here this season. And the question is, who could steal the show here tonight, with the fact of, Christopher Norris, also Danny Cochran not going to be returning. There's a lot of drivers that are racing with nothing to lose. They're not worried about penalties. They can be as aggressive as they want, which could be a threat to watch out for if you're Vincent Sora or John Forbes.
That's a great point. I didn't really even think about it that way. So it shows you what type of driver I am. I don't think there's loopholes like that, but that is definitely, I think, some of these guys could exploit. And like you said, we all unanimously select John as like the race winner tonight, and most likely going to be the champion. It just looks to be like a night that he could possibly put that stamp on for that 3rd championship. But this is a place where the draft can be huge. It is in the daytime, so that kind of limits it a little bit, in my opinion. But still, a place where drafting can be huge. Anything can happen. All it takes is one person to make one mistake on a restart, and he's caught up in it, and it could be a long night from there. And then it opens the door for Vincent Sora. I mean, it's got to happen early. I think the stage is going to be critical. If you're John Forbes, you get to the stage and you score good points, I think you can breathe really a big sigh of relief, because at that point, I think it really becomes out of the sands.
And again, want to say thank you to everyone that's joining with us. For those that have already chatted so far, we see you, April Lee, rooting for Ethan Smith, as well as for Gage out there in chat. We're excited for tonight's race, as it is the JDF Performance Mod 150, the championship race of Season 7. Tonight's race going to be 150 lap stage at the end of lap 45. No stage yellow will be thrown unless there is a caution between lap 40 and 45. That will count as the stage. No fast repairs for extra sets of tires in pit road. The fuel window around 48 laps, so they can make it to the stage on fuel. Now, making it any further than that, it's going to be slightly tough. But with the warm-up done, qualifying practice out of the way, it's time to race and see who we're crowning as the champion. Will it be Vincent Sora, John Forbes? They're the two to watch out for. But if Vincent Sora wants to win this championship, he needs a perfect race. It needs, unfortunately, to strike for the 11 machine. We're excited for it as the drivers are hitting pit road. It is time to grid up and get ready for tonight's race. Thought it was going to be a small field initially. A lot of drivers showing up late. We're going to have around 20 drivers expected to run here this evening. And at top of the board, it's the drivers that are racing for the championship. It's John Forbes in the 11 machine with Vincent Sora to his outside. Behind them is going to be Michael Miller in the 99 with the 13 is Cedric Hunter. Danny Cochran going to be back in 5th with 6. Going to be Presley Sora. Sora, though, will be going to the end of the line, giving penalties after last week's race. The 12 is going to have a long run for himself. Jared Talmadge is going to be starting back in 7th. 8th is Nick Crawford. 9th, we will find Larry Yingling. And finishing out our top 10 is the 24 of Ollie Fonseca.
Starting in 11th position, it's going to be the 18 of Thomas Green. Alongside him in the outside in 12th, it's going to be the 38 of Christopher Norris. Final race for him tonight in his ISRC career. 13th is going to go to Samuel Garcia. 14th is going to be the 25 of Cody Reed, with 15th being the 00 of Ethan Smith. 16th is going to be the 39 of Joshua Freed. 17th in qualifying is going to be the 8 of Martin Morales. 19th is going to go to Dakota Moniz. And rounding out our 20 truck field here tonight is going to be the 19 of Tyler Dingler. So like Sam said, 20 trucks to round out our season.
And other drivers going to be sent to the line with Presley Sora. Going to be Cody Reed after reckless driving was deemed for that machine back last week, as well as Samuel Garcia. So we're going to be seeing Cody Reed and Presley Sora in the back near one another, and that was the big storyline of last week's race when we were at Phoenix. Cody Reed giving the bump, spinning out the 12, and that was a huge conflict that became something a lot bigger. I'm curious if maybe they've squashed that beef, or will it continue into tonight? Because those drivers, again, are going to be fast. They're going to be marching forward as quickly as possible. It's going to be the storyline to watch out for as drivers are about to be getting ready and go. We want to say thank you also to all the amazing sponsors that have helped out throughout this season. I know the race sponsor tonight is JDF Performance Mod 150, but I want to say a special thank you to the league title sponsor of Larry Art Productions, who sponsored drivers as well as sponsors races and has been the title sponsor for the last few seasons. Thank you so much to Larry for everything he does for the ISRC Truck Series and supporting the drivers that run here week in and week out. As the field starts rolling, Zach, stage at lap 45. It's a little bit of a later stage. These drivers got a lot of work to try to get to that point, especially if you look at the last 2 races where we've had a lot of cautions. Season 4, we had 8. Season 5, we had 7, but those were bigger fields. Only 20 drivers here tonight.
That's exactly right. I think we could see a good green race here, so we'll see how this happens here at the drop of the green flag, but I expect drafting to be a huge part of it here early, and then as the tires start to wear, we might see a little bit of separation. So we'll see how the control works, and like you said, we had some beef last week. We'll see if that continues this week since they're both starting out back, but I expect both of them to keep it clean. So we'll see what happens here, but John Forbes starting up front, looking to win another championship. Our 2 contenders right on the front row.
Brandon Golly, who runs out there on track Wednesday nights for the WSSR Cup Series. Root for Vinny, trying to get that W. Lenny Reed out there as already trouble in the back as, oh boy, trouble as we are going green, but a driver is stuck in pause as Christopher Norris finding himself with trouble as I don't know exactly what happened at 38, but we are green taking off because that was before we took the green. The race is over. It looked like Christopher Norris having issues as his wheel had gone away. He slammed on the brakes in front of the field. Everyone else able to get away, but Zach, a bizarre moment for the 38 as lap 1 starts here tonight for the championship race.
You know, I've seen that before, Sam. I've actually had that same issue. It looked like the wheels turned 90 degrees to the left, folks. And that was because I think his wheel just disconnected, like you said. So, like you said, he had to get on the brakes and just stop. And that's so unfortunate for Christopher Norris, who we wanted to see have a great run to end his career here. We'll see if he can get back on track. But I think he's still fighting that problem as we're racing here early.
As the drivers have lap 1, it's John Forbes up front leading that lap. That's a bonus point for the 11 machine. The ways that you can grab bonus points here this evening: having 0 incident points, meaning you don't make contact with the wall, other drivers are going off course, you will get 1 bonus point. You lead a lap, that's 1 bonus point. You lead the most laps, that's 3 bonus points. You win the race, 10 bonus points are on the line. And of course, at the end of lap 45, or if there's a caution at the stage, first all the way down to 10th, get bonus points as well. As Presley Sora going to be the fastest driver on track. We're 3 wide. Action going on back around 5th place, where we find the mixture of Danny Cochran as well as Jared Talmadge, Presley Sora. And Presley Sora has already marched his way from all the way back around 17th, is now marched up to 7th, but he's into the wall as they race out of turn number 4. It is all John Forbes.
That was unfortunate for Presley. He gained a ton of track position and is just kind of giving it back all up. He first started with getting to the outside of Talmadge there, and I think Talmadge might not have known he was there. Kind of the 12 gets up to the wall with them 2 racing hard off the corner. And then from there, he gets to the wall off of 3. So kind of stack things up more. Now he's going to go back to look to the inside of Ali Fonseca, but the 12 showing a ton of speed here early. We'll see if the tires can stay with him driving as quick as he is. But, you know, we've heard from Presley before, he likes Chicagoland, so this could be a race where we can see him battle for another win.
And also have the mentality of, I want to win this race. There's a lot of drivers that feel like they want to win to end off the season on a good note. We know the likes of Danny Cochran. He wants to finish off his career with a win in a track that he's had success before. I know that Presley would love a win after the way that he felt like he got costed after last week's race. But there's other drivers that want to set the tone for how they want to reset going into next season. As seen Ali Fonseca, Cody Reed battling around one another, as well as Ethan Smith trying to make his charge to go forward. Ethan ran a special scheme honoring his grandfather that passed away, and seeing that 00 trying to find a way to get by the Cody Reed 25 machine, as Cody, he will now ship it to the outside of Ali Fonseca, and the purple machines just can't get away as they stay side by side back in 11th position.
The Larry Arts production trucks always seem to be a little bit glued together, magnets on the track, and you never can miss them, man. They're always full of colorful colors, and yeah, these two are going to battle it up right here now with the same sponsor, but they're definitely not going to lay easy on each other because they know there's nothing really for them to lose tonight. We're just going out here having some fun and racing right now. Reed trying to work his way around from that EOL. He's going to work around that outside. We'll see if the tires start to, you know, hurt from that, because I did see some big wiggles out of the 25, and I heard that tire wear is a slight issue here tonight.
We talked about the weather a little bit during qualifying. I know over practice there was a lot of heat in this track. It was over 110 degrees. Currently on track, it's down to 101, which is already fallen back where it was during qualifying, where it was 104. So this track, even with the sun baking on it, is slightly cooling off. We'll see how that trend evolves throughout the evening, but I'm expecting that to help out these drivers with the grip levels, as well as helping out with that slipping and sliding if we get a cooler track as this race moves along.
It definitely brings the speeds up, brings the grip level up, so helps with the slipping and sliding, that's for sure, Sam. And right now, that was a little bit of a slippery pass from the 18 as he slides over in front of the 2 off of 4, and he's going to try to fight him back here, but I think Danny's going to look to the inside. They also got Nick Crawford, who's kind of laying in the woods, so to say, are there right behind these two, so this is a great little battle shaping up as they even got Presley sort of going forward here too, catching up to them.
Trying to find any way to make a pass and go on by. Michael Miller does not have a number on the side of that red and white machine. It's been like that all season long, but this is a great start for the 99. Michael Miller, I think he had a lot more of higher hopes. Wanted to be competing up front. Had some bad luck. Was just caught up in race that took away decent finishes. But here tonight, finish out the season, Miller would love to find a way to get up front and challenge the championship contenders, but I mean, Zach, I feel like it's every championship race. There's some drivers that are willing to put the effort in to practice, to challenge the championship for. That's traditionally the way it's been. But with it being a chase, we're down to just 2 drivers mathematically with a chance for the championship here tonight. And they've put the most effort out of everyone, proving it now. But Miller wants to play a little bit of spoiler.
That he does. He wants to be right in the mix, so to say, here to close out the season so we can have some momentum heading into the next. As we check on our race leader, championship leader, John Forbes. He is going to try to get closer and closer to that stage, and hasn't gotten away yet. And I didn't expect him to get away here early because I felt like the draft was going to play a big factor. But we've gotten a good bit of separation here, Sam. This is not as similar to as a Las Vegas as I thought it was going to be. It's been very much spread out from the drop of the green flag. So we'll see how much tires really do play a factor, and if these drivers can close down the 11, because we know how good the 11 is when he gets out front and then has the truck handling the way he wants.
Yeah, I think that's kind of been the odd thing of watching these vehicles throughout this season. And since we've been watching them since season 7, it feels like the last 3-4 seasons been a lot more of, if you're aggressive, you're being rewarded with better positioning and at the end of the run. And for John Forbes, the aggression is working out to where he's running almost a second off of his fastest lap, but everyone is now almost a second off their fastest lap. It's crazy to see the massive drop off just 13 laps into this race.
It is crazy to see that, Sam. I agree. I know Martin Morales there, I think, in the grass on the back straightaway. He's going to get back going and maybe spread some grass and dirt onto the racing surface. But man, it is very, very important here to manage the tires, and it seems like the fall off is big, so we could have that be very important. I mean, this many laps in, this amount of fall off is more than we normally see this amount of.
Already seeing one driver go at the start park. Tyler Dangler runs a few laps, and he'll be now exiting the race. We'll see if he comes back out on track, because currently Martin Morales, like Zach just noted on, went through the grass as he was trying to get back out on track after her pit stall. We'll see if the 8 machine goes in and gets serviced down, gets back out there on course, or just stays in pit road. Currently a total of just 16 drivers on the lead lap, being led by this this number 11 machine. John Forbes announcing when he posted the photo what truck he was running here tonight. One last ride tonight. I mean, Zach, I knew we had 2 drivers that already made public announcements that they weren't returning, but John Forbes this season taking the most wins of all time category that we thought many of other drivers would take it away from Mark Whitley, but ultimately went to the 11. There's so many other stats that it's crazy to see those drivers that are moving away from this league that are still there. At the most poles in this league, led by Danny Cochran, currently in the 2 machine. There's other stats that have been just Mark Whitley bound. Also, John Forbes has been up there. We're seeing Vincent Sora look strong in that early season 1. It's great to see an era slowly coming to a close as Thomas Green currently runs 5th, trying to stay ahead of Danny Cochran.
It is almost like we're turning the page in the book, almost a new chapter, so to say, for sure. I mean, it's like the passing of the torch. And, a lot of these guys are still coming back, I'd assume next season. So it'll be interesting to see who can kind of take what has been left on the table and run with it, so to say. And kind of, the pecking order then changes. The whole dynamic of the league changes. Then you have those slight nuances like that. So it's going to be interesting to see, but definitely great to see these veterans out here battling it up for one final time. And yeah, the John Forbes one definitely caught me off guard when we heard about that entering tonight. So we'll see how he can close it out, if he's a champion or not. But right now it's looking strong in the first 18.
As people cheering in the chat, Danny trying to make the pass on Green, not able to do so. The 2 will have to set back in line now, attempting once again to go low, banking on an issue maybe to pop up. And Presley Sora working on the outside groove. The 12 had a big slide, got into the outside wall, lost a lot of momentum that he had regained back about 5 to 8 laps ago. Well, the 12 machine is up to 7th. Had to start at the tail end of the pack with an EOL penalty. And gotta say, Presley Sora, impressive on the fact that he's gotten up to 7th, but with the fact that there will not be a yellow thrown at the end of our stage, a lot of these drivers, I'm curious on what their mentality will be with burning off so much rubber early on in this run. It's almost like they're racing expecting a yellow to be thrown.
It'll be interesting to see how his tires last up, because right now he's the fastest on track. I mean, at 32.48, our leader was at 32.53. So he's quite considerably quicker, about a half a tenth quicker than our leader, and running that outer groove too, making some great time up there. So this time here, a 52 or 32.51, so our leader's 32.62. So just showing that he's got great pace. So it's very close between a lot of people. But we'll see how the tires hang up, because it looks like everybody's relocating themselves up towards that top groove, and a few sliding, such as Nick Crawford back there in the background. And that's one thing I was kind of concerned with, them moving the groove up here as this race goes on. You see those little black, pebbles almost looking thing out there, like rocks, but they're actually little little balls of rubber out there. And those in the new iRacing update with the debris are a huge factor now. I can confirm to you that getting into marbles now is a huge thing, and when you push the limits of that groove, you start to get up in that dust, in that dirty area, and you can get those tires a little bit dirty. And it's hard to hold on, as you can see, some people already smoking the tires from sliding off the exit too.
And with the new update, also, we're seeing different smoke. I mean, dirt is popping up a lot more defined of a color. The dust is popping up a lot more defined when you get close to that outside wall. So visually, we're able to see a lot more clear when they get over, a dirt term, over the cushion, you could say, of where the marbles are laying, and try to stay just underneath it, maybe push that up a little bit higher. But as this race progresses, that marbles and the dirt on the outside going to be tough. With drivers slide and go through the grass, push that onto the track, and to make the inside a little bit more difficult. As one driver that's proving that it's not difficult to get by drivers, that's Thomas Green, up to third now, easily blitzing by Miller and Cedric Hunter. Danny Cochran trying to follow in suit as Danny gets into the outside wall. Miller and Hunter almost make contact out of four. And they continue to try to find a way to go forward as John Forbes and Vincent Sora are in their own zip code, watching third on back on top of each other.
That they are. I think someone might start to enter that zip code. Cedric Hunter slides up in front of the 99. He'll complete that pass and hold on the fourth. Is Thomas Green, that last time by, was quicker than both of them. We'll see if that continues. And I mean, he's worked his way up from 11th, made passes, and he's only 1.9 back. So we'll see if the 18 can continue to close it down. He did just get in the wall, so I might have jinxed it just a little bit, but we'll see if that speed continues to show up from him. He's done a great job so far.
Tyler Dengler again, if you're just joining us now, called it a race early. Martin Morales Jr. is in pit road getting service done. Christopher Norris currently 5 laps down after wheel issues before the race even went green. So those are the 3 drivers that are a lap down, 16 on the lead lap. And it's Joshua Freed who is going to be probably the next victim to go a lap down as we stay green. Everyone else in the middle of the pack still attached somewhat to the draft as much as they can. Cedric Hunter in 4th, great qualifying attempt for himself, qualified 4th for 13 Hello Kitty machine. And for Cedric, I mean, that's always been a weak point of his race here tonight. If it was maybe a different track, he would compete a lot more with John Forbes and Vincent Sora, but here tonight might turn into more of a fuel strategy race. If who could find the fuel for tonight's run, or will it come down to tires this evening?
Very well true, Sam. It could come down to that, so we'll see how that factor plays out. Cedric Hunter is having a good run, and we talked to him even before the race. He even said he was excited if he could get a top 3 to close out his season here. He's had a very tough one. I know it's always been mentally tough for him, where it's easy as a driver. A lot of people say, well, it's just a video game. You do mentally get in the rut, as you got some great battles going on back here. It's very easy as a driver to get kind of mentally stuck in that moralizing defeat mode when you feel like you should be doing better. So it's tough to come out of that, but we've definitely seen drivers do it before. And right now, you see, I think Cody Reed paying the price for taking off as fast as he did. Ali Fonseca is really starting to move away from him.
It certainly is. We have an update for another driver. Joshua Freed got trouble off the exit of turn 2. Found himself going through the grass, pulled it into pit road, and has called it an evening. So that's 2 drivers out of this race of the 19 that took the green. And with only 15 drivers on the lead lap, this is cutting away Vincent Sora's hopes of having enough drivers out on track that if John Forbes does have a major issue, that he can try to return and take the spots and points away to go take and steal this championship. But with more drivers leaving, this is looking more and more impossible for the 15 of Vincent Sora, but still plenty of racing. Plenty of unfortunate events could happen here tonight, but a lot of these drivers wishes that their race stays clean, green, as Cody Reed stays on the outside trying to get by Samuel Garcia.
Sammy Garcia and him having a great battle here as Reed's trying to hold on to this spot. He's kind of slipped back here. You see Fonseca's already got away from Crawford, who also seems to be struggling. It looks like Crawford, Reed, Ethan Smith, a few others dropping into that 33-second bracket, and that is a ton of fall. We're seeing over 2 seconds of fall from some of these guys. That is some of the most we've seen all season.
I mean, at this point, you got to be thinking that maybe there's a chance that we could be seeing these drivers go for a 3-stop here tonight with how much of a fall off there is. And I mean, Zach, it's always that coin of who's going to be the better crew chief of the evening. Is it tires or fuel that you're feeling more that you need to focus on as drivers continue to stay out? And they look like they're at a standstill at moments exiting out of these corners.
It's a big difference what we're seeing from the grip low from a few of these trucks out here. And with it that much fall off, you could look at a 3-stopper being the optimal strategy maybe. So I am interested to see if someone will elect to do that. I mean, if you're going to be on that strategy, it's definitely going to be something that you got to push very hard, I think, still to do. But it is stuff I think that could be doable here tonight. I think you'll possibly see those drivers stop around like 38, like 40 here this early on, and we'll see if others do it, because that could be something that allows you to position yourself where you couldn't.
I think we're going to see anyone do it. Presley Sora could be that driver. He is still running very similar speeds to our leaders that are inside of our top 3. And this late will run, even with all of the pushing, the passing that's going on for this 12, that is pristine tires with all that effort in to still be running close to what our leaders have had that have not been in the same charge and be as quick as we can through the field.
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty much matching everybody ahead of him, so he's doing a great job. And when you come from farther back like that, you almost get that feeling of, I'm going to give up a little bit to get some, and he's not really giving up much. So that's a great job by him to keep it within 4 seconds of the lead. And right now, another person starting to slightly drive forward too, show some good times, is the winner from Atlanta. So not kind of surprised to see that, because that's another track where we've seen a ton of fall off. Larry Yingling showing some speed here. Look to the inside of the 61 at Talmadge. And next on his list would be up there to Michael Miller, who seems to be finding some good lap times his last time around.
Michael Miller finding some decent times, but he's fallen back to 7th. That's the only unfortunate part of seeing where Michael Miller runs, as Talmadge as well as Yingling continue to stay side by side with one another. And the hard part of racing, of just making that hard decision of, do you hold for positionings or think of a bigger picture, as Talmadge gets a little bit sideways off the exit of 4, keeps it high away from Yingling. And that's the danger of staying side by side this late into a run. But also the curious thought, I mean, Zach, of when you're side by side with someone, do you just let them go or fight as hard as you can to keep that position? Because there are rewards if you just let that driver go on by, compared to fighting for everything to stay in the position you're at.
It seems like there is a reward tonight, actually being patient and letting the driver go ahead of you. So it's tough too, because like a lot of these drivers get in that mode of where you got to race for every position like it's your life on the line, because that position, if you give up there, you got to go back around that person if you want to go forward. So it's usually very tough to do that here in the truck. In the truck series, it's so close on speed, so high competition, that it's tough to make up those differences. But tonight it seems like you can do that with the tire, with the fall off. And a few of these drivers who give up a few spots early have been able to make passes and actually go forward, because this track allows that with the multi-groove racing. Is right now we are starting to see the battle for second heat up. And I tell you what, Thomas Green has pretty much matched John Forbes since he's gotten the second. If we can get Green up there with John Forbes in a restart on this race, it could be very interesting if we get a caution. But you can see right here how Lucy is trying to turn down the track underneath the 15.
And as this battle rages on, there's been almost moments of contact between the 18 and the 15, but they continue to be pointing straight. Pit stop, Nick Crawford, Cody Reed from Snowy Desert Racing. They are going for the 3-stop, pitting here on lap 36. No one else showing signs of pit road calling their name, but I love the aggressive calls by drivers that are so far back in. I'm not surprised. It's Nick Crawford who's going with a different strategy compared to most.
Makes me smile to think about that, Sam. Yeah, it's what you got to do. I think if you're Nick Crawford, Cody Reed, there's nothing to lose, man. Go down there, try a different strategy. You go out there and just do the normal 2-stop that everybody wants to do. It's, your race is just going to be where you're at. Right now, they have the opportunity of something to happen, and You never know. It could not be a faster strategy, but the timing of a yellow, just the timing of the way this pit cycle works out, it can work in your favor. So I like getting off sequence here and going for it.
Also going to be joining with the off-sequence pit stops. Dakota Moniz going to be a lap after Crawford and Reed. And seeing Presley Sora, Michael Miller. This is the challenge for 6th and 7th, catching up to the lap down driver of Mark Morales, who did get back out on track after his woes of going through the grass on the back stretch just about 15 laps ago. As Sora continues to rip the top and looking very quick up there. But again, so far back, 5 seconds off our leader of John Forbes, who continues to just ink out little bits of a gap each and every lap. There's just a little bit of a 10th here, a little bit of a 100th there, and now it's up to 1.6 seconds, the difference between first and second. And Thomas Green not able to get by Vincent Sora, so it looks like it's still down to our top two up front as we keep our sights here for 4th, 5th, and 6th position. It's Danny Cochran and as well Cedric Hunter for 4th and 5th place, as Danny has been able to move forward just up one spot from where he qualified, but he did give up some positions to get rewarded with the track, with the tires that he has now.
That he did, yeah. He gave up some spots early, and it's definitely paid off. He's had great pace, and last time around was one of the quicker cars on the racetrack. And it just seems like it kind of ebbs and flows with the lap times of everybody. And the thing that's allowing John Forbes to kind of open up and eke open that gap is just small margins each and every lap. It's nothing big. You know, if he loses anything, it's a couple of hundreds. If he gains anything, it's a couple of hundreds more. So it's just really methodically just opening that gap just a little bit at a time. And that's what the 11's been so good at so far tonight, is just growing that gap. And I mean, last time it shrunk a little bit, but in my opinion, in a few laps, it'll probably grow back again. So that's what John Forbes does. He just continues to demoralize the guys behind him with the lap time sequencing.
As seeing the 8 machine, Mark Morales, he grips the top again. Old newer tires than the rest of the field as we continue to stay green for now. And back into pit road is going to be Dakota Moniz. Looks like he's having some slight issues as now more drivers hitting pit road. It's going to be Jared Talmadge now getting service for the 61. He's going to be the first of those Planet Sim Racing drivers of Talmadge and Thomas Green. So probably going to get some good data for the 61 of making this pit stop, as more reports on Dakota Moniz. He still sits in pit road. We'll wait for a confirmation on exactly why he's still in pit road for so long, but the battling for 4th place is back underway. Cedric Hunter trying to close in the gap on Danny Cochran as Morales and the 8 machine gets very close to that wall before.
I think Danny Cochran had a big mistake or something here off the exit of either 2. It's just, well, actually, no, not even really big mistakes, just a few little slides. So, yeah, starting to show a little bit of cracks in the armors. Whoa, that was a big slide there. The ones I've been seeing so far is now the 13, his teammate, going to look to the inside, and I think he's just going to say, you know what, you go ahead, Cedric. I'll let you ride on by, buddy.
Darker Sora racing and getting close to one another as Danny Cochran trying to just hold on steady, as behind them also going to be seeing Presley Sora, older brother of Vincent Sora, trying to get into the mix as the 12, showing some great speed, and he is still ripping the top. He has been hitting the mark every time, looking very quick at this moment. Oli Fonseca, another driver that went into pit road to get service done just a lap ago. An update on Dakota Moniz, he has called it a night. So that's 3 drivers out of this race. We're left with just 16 out on course. Zach, we're getting closer and closer to, there won't be enough drivers or points now out there for Vincent Sora if he even wants a chance to take this championship away.
Yeah, that door is closing more and more, and look at that new tires there go by the old tires, and they probably blast past those drivers. So, yeah, it's the door closing for Vincent Sora, but I think Vinny knew that coming into tonight. He just knew it was very little chance of going to get that, you know, championship. So I think more or less this is just going to be, you know, have fun out there and have the best race you can. But John Forbes has just been that guy this season.
And with that, the stage bonus points are taken away. John Forbes is your stage winner. 10 bonus points goes to himself. 9 bonus points goes to Vincent Sora, who will take second, and that now takes away those major bonus points to be grabbed. You actually lose points. Now it's 24 points plus, because of also leading a lap that John Forbes has over the 15. And it is just becoming ever so much of a frustration for Vinny just to watch as we see Presley Sora trying to go back and forth to get by the Hello Kitty machine as Cedric Hunter. This is for 4th place, and great run by Presley, again, who had to start at the end of the line due to last week's penalties given out. And Swell's looking quick. That friend, though, slipping and sliding. He is wheeling that thing for a pass.
He definitely is. He is on the edge of the grip level, and you love to see that. That is that's fun stuff. Now he's going to drop to the bottom here in 3 and 4. Oh, he's going to come into pit here a little bit earlier than I thought a few others, but oh, it's Vincent Sora who's going to go around. He's going to spin on pit road. The 15 is around.
15 goes around, gets into the wall, a little bit of damage. He's trying to get back centered as other drivers continue to pass on by. And this was the call for almost everyone into pit road. Cedric Hunter, Danny Cochran, Larry Yingling will stay out. Same for Ethan Smith. Everyone else from John Forbes, Presley Sora, Thomas Green, as well as going to be Garcia, Sora, Vincent Sora, all getting service done. 4 drivers stay out for another lap. They can go maybe for a few more because some drivers were saving fuel by backing off, utilizing the draft. But oh man, what a moment for Vincent Sora. The disappointment at the stage and even in the pit road, just showing how difficult it is on these older tires.
It's very difficult for sure. It's just it's such an easy mistake to make. He was trying to get as much time gained on John Forbes. It was the late braking right into the entry of pit road that really hurt him, and we'll see how he can recover from that. But right here, right on board with Cedric, we'll see when he comes down. I like the strategy stretching this in. I mean, if anything, make sure the 2-stop is possible for you here by doing this, and we'll see how far he elects to go here.
I mean, we were given information around 48 laps was the distance if you weren't thinking about saving fuel, trying to purposely save it. And for Cedric Hunter over the radio saying he's pitting this time. We'll see if Danny Cochran follows in suit. Same for Larry Yingling. Those are the last 3 to make their pit stop as Ethan Smith made his pit stop just a lap ago. He'll be above on the Hello Kitty machine. He slows down, gets onto the apron. You see how aggressive and abrasive it is. Hard on the brakes to hit your markers that you're hoping for, that you're below that 50 miles per hour window. And it will be all 3 drivers, Hunter, Cochran, also going to be Yingling, making their pit stops. They make it to 50. That's what's important. And now it's the rundown. John Forbes, can he catch Nick Crawford, and how quickly will he do so?
This is very interesting, Sam. With them only being able to make it 50 laps like that, it's got to be a concern for the others now. They know that the 2-stop probably is not going to be in the realm for them, so they're going to have to kind of, dynamically shift their strategy to a 3-stop strategy. And we'll see if, the likes of Cochran's, Yingling and Hunter can make this strategy of a 2-stop work, because I think, if anything, it's going to be close here between the 2 strategies. So we'll see how it works out. Maybe saving fuel will be the difference that makes it slower for the 2-stop, but we're just going to have to let this one play out, because right now it's all about pushing if you're on that 3-stop.
And looking at Nick Crawford, he is letting off dramatically on his tires. I know he's 16 laps on this stint, but that last go around, he was 1.2 seconds slower than John Forbes. I know Forbes pitted 4 laps ago, but Zach, that difference on just 12 laps is crazy. I think Nick Crawford might be doing a little bit of extra saving, trying to stretch this out as he sees his teammate go to the inside, and John Forbes back to the lead.
Really huge mistakes on this pit road as Forbes gets back to the lead point here, because if you look at it, Forbes now in the lead. If you look back to Thomas Green, he was about 3.5 seconds behind him coming to pit road. He is now all the way back 7 seconds. Presley Sora, he was about 4 seconds back. He's 6 seconds back. So John Forbes right there on pit road, off of pit road, better than anybody. And I mean, it shows. I mean, on pit lane, he was almost a second faster than him. So really doing an excellent job getting in and out of pit road on that 11 car.
Especially the entry. I rewatched that one, and he was so aggressive. John Forbes actually locked up his tires with how fast he was going into that entry line. Did everything possible to gain time, and it worked out perfectly for the 11. Presley Sora, though, 6 seconds back. He's going to try his best to run down. He's the closest driver with the same set of freshness on these tires. Both John Forbes and Presley pitted 6 laps ago, but was that too soon? Other drivers that pushed the limit to go as far as they can. Cedric Hunter back in 9th place, 13 seconds off our leader. We still have 2/3 of a race to go, as tonight we're going to take our first commercial break of the evening. When we come back, it is going to be a lot more action of who's the favorite on winning here tonight. Will it be John Forbes taking the victory and hoisting the Season 7 championship, or will it come down to someone else stealing the show for your JDF Performance Mod 150 here this evening for the ISRC championship race? We'll be back right after this for more racing action. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the ISRC Larry R Productions Truck Series Season 7 Championship Race out here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. My name is Sam Dyer. With me is Zach Hall. Running productions in the background is Robert Moyer Jr. And there's a couple of great battles happening out on track. We've been watching on screen the battle for second place between Presley Sora and Thomas Green. Then back here, going back and forth, it's the battle for fifth between Michael Miller, also Jared Talmadge, and Cedric Hunter. The drivers with the freshest of tires, that goes to Cedric Hunter, but Miller not willing to give up. He's got the better track position on the outside, and the 99 white and red machine still going back and forth, the Hello Kitty, but it has been back and forth. And Zach, we were touching on this during the commercial break, on the fact that the tire drop off is way more dramatic than I think any of us could have predicted.
Oh, it is way more dramatic and way quicker too. You know, a lot of times we'll see it, it's kind of gradual, but it's been so quick with the drop off here tonight that I actually think Cedric Hunter, with this longer strategy, even if, you know, he's not able to make the two-stop or whatever fuel, I think taking the tires longer is just going to be a huge benefit. Like, he's already seeing the, you know, really come through right now. He's only 3 seconds behind the two up ahead, who are, must say, are battling still and get up here for second position as the battle goes on down with Michael Miller and Ali Fonseca for fifth. So racing all around this track is everybody's trying to catch John Forbes, who's 9 seconds, I must point out, in the lead.
Yeah, 9 seconds. And what's even crazier is the fact that the drivers behind John Forbes in second and third, they're battling back and forth. They're costing time that way. But they pitted on the same lap, and it is still a 9-second difference. And each lap, John Forbes is running about a half second faster than these two battling machines, just showing how much they're costing one another on the fact that the 11 can pull away. I think John would have had a bigger gap, naturally, just because of the way that he went into pit road, the way that he drove through pit road and exited. He built up, you know, an extra 2 to 3 seconds over the rest of the field. But with Presley Sora, Thomas Green going back and forth so aggressively, this is hurting them on the long run of trying to catch the 11 of John Forbes for a win. It's now just put it in the hands of John Forbes, looking clean and green up front. The one driver that's got to be fuming, though, at the way that his race has imploded since that green flag pit stop, it's this machine, the 15 of Vincent Sora, back in 10th place. I mean, Zach, this is a nightmare run for Sora that was running second, and then after pit stops, he's stuck almost outside the top 10.
I'm sure Vincent's very frustrated, yeah, at how it's played out so far, but, you know, he's got a chance here to rebound still. He's got really everybody from fifth right in front of him still, so he can't give up yet. He's got to go here focused, put some laps down, and really make sure he's got good long run pace to make up the difference on a few of these drivers where that mistake in pit road has really hurt him. And, you know, it was after the stage, I feel like he felt like probably the race for the championship is close to, if not over. So that mistake's not going to, I think, weigh on him too hard, but he's still going to be saying, man, this has just been my season. I just have been tripping over myself and, you know, just not having the greatest luck with timings of things.
As we are getting closer to halfway, it's been a great season that we've got to call here for the ISRC Truck Series. As we've been given the call from season 1 all the way to this season 7. It's been great to see all the drivers that have entered, that have shown strength, that have grown. It's crazy to think the season's almost over. And with the season coming to an end and 2024 coming to an end, we also have a new beginning, a new start, and a tradition that we've been doing for 3 years, and we're about to make it our 4th. It's our charity race, January 4th, the 6 Hours of Daytona, to raise money to help stop and find a cure against type 1 diabetes, with partnering up with Breakthrough T1D, formerly known as JDF. It is an exciting group that we have been working with. Like I said, we're coming up to our 4th annual year, and this year going to be a lot bigger and badder than we've ever done before, as we're going to be bringing in different donation goals and plenty of other hidden secrets that we've been filing out weekly here for the last couple of weeks. It's exciting, Zach, on the fact that this charity race, I know we kind of started promoting it a little bit later, but there is a lot of stuff on the line for these drivers that are racing that the viewers actually will have a little bit of power on their side of how the race might go when that race comes around in January 4th.
That is for sure, Sam. Yeah, it's going to be fun to see how that all works out when we fully get all those, you know, little extra live donation goals in there. But yeah, so far we've released our first 2 sets of goals here. You see the first set of goals here on the screen, and this is going to be pretty much the goals from 500 to 1,000. you know, light goals. It's mostly do with, you know, getting people up in the booth, you know, letting them come up there and, you know, see some personalities up there and some interesting things. But then I think the ones we announced today, Sam, I gotta say, I think are the ones that I think are really going to be fun to see happen, because I know we're going to get there. I just know that, and so some of these I'm definitely, you know, a part of, and I'm kind of dreading the pepper one, so I know that was.
Yeah, you're putting yourself on the line with hot pepper. We have Robert singing Christmas carols for 1,200. I'm going to be singing on stream. We had 1,600. Breaks the record that we had of 1,710. Both yourself, Zach, and Robert both have said you'll dye your hair blue. And then after that, the 1,800 as well as the 2,000 goals, those are the ones I'm most worried about. If we do hit, if no one knows what the one chip challenge is, it's the extremely hot, just one chip that you eat. And I'm putting myself on the line for that one. It's hotter than even the pepper Zach's going to eat. So we're just upgrading each donation goal we hit. But it's exciting to see what's beyond the horizon for us in the future. And if you'd like to know how to be a part of this great event that we're going to be having, again, our charity race, January 4th, you can go look at our social medias where we have our links to our Discord if you'd like to just share the event, or if you'd like to donate, you can also go to our social media site where you can see the Tiltify link where you can donate. Already, we've got ourselves 15 teams signed up for this endurance race, with all 3 different classes have been selected. Question is, which vehicle would you like to drive if you want to join in? Again, go check out our charity event and on our social medias, and we will get you more and more prepared. Again, we still have more things to share in the coming days.
That's for sure, yeah. And also today we announced too that we're adding the Ferrari, the new Ferrari 499P to the GTP and hybrid class. So that's gonna be the top class, and then also the new Acura that's just came to iRacing, the GT3 class. So 16 different cars to choose from, man. That's a ton of options. So make sure you go out there and get signed up. And if you can't, like I said, make sure you tune in with us, because there's gonna be a ton of fun stuff going on. You know, Sam talks about the one chip challenge, and oh, it's just a little bit hotter than the pepper. No, that is what he is going to do, folks, is insane. Mine is baby stuff, and I tell you, if we get a 2,000, I feel for the man, and he's definitely putting his body on the line.
Oh, and we've got other, again, live donation goals and ways that you can interact. We will be releasing those, and those are other ways that you can punish us, as well as we do have a question in the chat for you, Zach. Collie's curious, what pepper is Zach going to be eating?
Well, that was actually, you know, the biggest thing is because, you know, it started with the habanero, but I think I personally need to step it up. So we'll see what I can find in my local area, and we're gonna have something hot. I don't know. That's all I know. I got to step it up though, Sam, because I tell you, there's no pepper that represents the one chip challenge. You can't even find a pepper like that. So I know you're gonna be in a lot of pain. I gotta at least put myself in some.
I have tried to prep myself mentally. Not physically. There's no way to prep physically for that pain, but we are excited for
ice cream. Chocolate milk ice cream. We're going to be on deck.
Absolutely. We are going to have everything in hand. We're not other people that are psychos that are deciding to eat that stuff without any assistance. We will have assistance, and we are excited for it as well. I think we can announce that also here. We're going to be working on making sure that we've got our cameras set up, so you will see our faces going through the pain and all the different adventures that we go on for this charity event. Again, January 4th. Cannot wait for it, as this is one of our last races of the year. It's crazy to say that. We have WSSR also on Wednesday night. That will officially be our last one of 2024 before we are back for 2025. And I believe our first event back will be the charity race. So we got a lot of prepping on our end to get ready for that event. But thank you so much to everyone that's been along with the journey for the ISRC Truck Series Season 7, concluding here tonight. We're officially into the second half of this race, and we are now into the decision zone for some of these drivers, because we are in the spot where you have to make the hard decision. If you pitted early, when do you pit again for yourself? Because we know Cody Reed, Nick Crawford, they've already made their second stop of the night 8 laps ago. The rest of the field, though, they might be thinking about stretching as far as they can, which is in the next 8 for some, 10 for others.
That's for sure. And you know, looking at some of these gaps, we're looking right here at the 67 of Larry Yingling, and that was kind of what I was questioning, is like, how big is his gap? what is his strategy look like? Because at least from lap times wise, I think he is going for the 2-stop, Sam. And the only concern I'm looking at right now is he's 21 seconds behind the leader. That's, roughly about 9-10 seconds ahead of the leader, so to say. And that's putting him in a very easy position to be caught, I think, by a 3-stop. So we'll see how it works out, but I like the risk that he's taking here because he knows this run's going to be a little bit tougher to save that fuel. Not as much traffic to go around. You can see right now, it's kind of no man's land.
Really is. John Forbes currently 12.3 seconds ahead of Thomas Green. And Thomas Green's still under battles. Here's Cody Reed as he had just got service done. He's going to leave with another pit stop for himself. Also going to be Ethan Smith entering pit road. Jared Talmadge going to be making his stop. So some drivers already making the call that they're going to be going into pit road. And looking at the numbers, if you're pitting now, you're not making it to the end. You're going to still make another pit stop before this race is over.
That you are. And yeah, this is that's why this is going to be very, very interesting with how our leaders are going to take this approach, because they're not able to, they've stretched it out that first run. It's one of these runs is going to have to be shorter. I think the final run is where a lot of them are going to like to be the shortest run of the race for them, but we'll see how they do elect to do this. I mean, it's going to be very interesting to least because, right now they're 37 in for John Forbes up front. I'd expect a pit stop here pretty quickly from some of these guys.
Presley Sora currently runs in 4th place, trying to work on the outside. Again, he's battling with Thomas Green for the longest amount of time during this run. Cedric Hunter caught them, and now the 13 in a weird back and forth. Because we've been running so long into this run, the tires have kind of equaled out at moments, and Hunter just hasn't found that spacing yet to really work on the inside groove to make the pass on Green. Green still holds steady with the better momentum. The 18 just does not want to relinquish the 2nd place position. He continues to fight on that outside.
That he does. He's fighting strong, and Cedric Hunter having probably the best run of his season so far. This is really kind of the Cedric Hunter we've been looking for in the past, and it's not a surprise for me too here because this track has had a lot of fall off so far, and it seems like so far that's kind of been his MO in his career, is being good on the long run. It looks like tonight he's kind of brought that same back, and even that little bit of fresher tires, it's really played off well for him. So we'll see how he can handle this run, because at some point here, these drivers are going to have to flinch with pit road. Will he elect to take it longer again, seeing the benefits he's had this time?
Drivers still out on track. The first driver that's expected to pit that still hasn't yet on this run, Ali Fonseca, back in 7th place. He's been out on track for 44 laps on this stint. He can try to stretch it out as far as he can, but I think he might be around that 3 to 4 lap window being too short. John Forbes as well as Thomas Green, and also you can put Presley Sora in that window. They're in that question mark of they could try to save fuel if they've been focusing on that to gain those 1 to 2 laps they need to turn this race into a 1-stop after this one that they go into pit road for. I just, the numbers are not lining up in my sight. From trying to look at this as a crew chief, maybe from an outside perspective, there's only 2-3 drivers that can turn this race into a full 2-stop, and Cedric Hunter is one of them. The other driver, Danny Cochran, who runs back in 5th place, just 1.3 seconds behind this group of 3.
Yeah, Danny, I think is going to be the one that's going to be interesting to see, because Cedric seems to have took off a little bit more aggressively, so to say, than Danny has. So we'll see, can Cedric make it the 50 laps he's going to need this time to make a 2-stop work. But it's going to be interesting to see from one of these two perspectives. I think Larry, when he's given too much time, he's 23 seconds behind, so he's about 10 seconds even behind these guys. So it's just a little bit too much time, I think, for saving the fuel to make it to the end for him. But we'll see how it works out. I think one of the benefits, Sam, that we noticed with these guys, they're just running the bottom. They're sticking right to the bottom, the shortest way around the track, limiting the mileage. And I think that's why the 18 and 12, they don't have any chances of making it 50 laps with them running it against the wall all the way around this place.
Ali Fonseca over the radio and into pit road, making the call. Pit stop for the 24 as he made it to lap 91. That's as far as he could stretch out this run. See Danny Cochran as well as Vincent Sora, Cedric Hunter teammates, all going to be lined up 4th through 6th. Vincent Sora able to climb up to 6th place position. Now, some of those drivers have given up spots for pit stops, but still try to salvage something. And if you're Vincent Sora, I know second place is what you want to finish in, but if you can come away with second place after the woes that you've had so far, as we've been clean and green all the way through, the only incident that we've had on track that had a potential of bringing out a yellow was a wreck that happened before we even took the green, with Christopher Norris having wheel issues. But we've been clean and green since then, and if Vincent Sora redeems himself here and is able to challenge for a second place position, this is the best recovery and probably race of the night. Driver of the night, you could call it, was Vincent Sora.
That's for sure. I mean, that'd be a recovery for sure. A long time if you can get back in the mix. I mean, he really is. I mean, he's only a second back from Thomas Green almost. So it's really a great job for him after that spin to be making this type of pace and catching up to these guys. So don't count the 15 out for trying to get back onto that podium position and at least close out the season on a strong note, because look at the battling we got going on with them. As Green, Thomas, and Sora in the 12 have been glued together this whole run. As the 13 now is riding behind him. And the interesting thing is, if you're Cedric and you've caught up to him, this is the perfect opportunity to save fuel if he is electing to try to make that strategy work, because you're going to be in that draft. And looks like maybe we'll see if it is possible for these drivers to do it, because right now they're on their 46th lap of this stint here, Sam. We'll see how far they can take it.
Sure, Talmadge is going to try to find a way to get past all these drivers. On shot, there's a 61 on the outside, getting by Larry England, as he's currently one lap down. First driver one lap down is Nick Crawford. And over the radio, Presley Sora has made the call. He is pitting. We'll see if Cedric Hunter goes high, as the 12 will have to slow down. Yep, goes slightly high, goes by. Jared Talmadge is going to rip the top in. Into pit roads, the 12 could not stretch it out any further, and this is now an absolute. Presley Sora has one more pit stop after he finishes up this one before his race is done.
And this will be interesting timing for but too, because right there he's completing lap 94, so you know he's going to have 56 laps here, so to say. So really it's going to be kind of split up into about 28 to 27 lap runs here when we come back. So it's going to be a lot of pushing, a lot of using those tires. Is now Green. He comes the next lap down. Not surprised to see that. John Forbes electing, actually no, he's on starting on pit road. He's just got such a big lead. He hasn't given up the lead yet. Now Cedric kind of will take over that. But now's the question, can these two up front make it to the point they need? And Vincent Sora, he's taking an extra lap this time.
He's taking an extra lap, but I think because he's been tagged along with Danny Cochran, you touched on the fact that if you're in the draft, that can assist you slightly. It maybe let off a little bit more. You're able to carry more speed on the straightaways. And for the 15, this is working out perfectly for him to have the helps of his teammates to continue to pull along, and it will stay up for another lap. Vincent Sora is hitting numbers that he needs. The problem is that he pitted so early in that first run that he's so far back. This is a number that is going to be tough to hit, because Vincent Sora needs to save 4 more laps, and he maybe has 2 if he's saved immediately when he took off from pit road.
Wouldn't be surprised if we see him peel off this time. And I mean, hey, if he can make it 50 though, this tells us that it's a chance for his teammates up front to do it. But I think this time you have to see the flame coming out the tailpipe from the lift. He's coming to pit road, 49 laps in the books for the 15. Let's see how the others can take it. As here is Larry Yingling much farther behind.
Much farther behind, but was able to stretch it out and go the furthest of anybody, as Yingling was part of that Cedric Hunter, Danny Cochran crew that was able to make it so far along, and now are in the brink of trying to get to lap 101. If they can get to that one, or at least 100 going into 101, there is a chance that we could be seeing our top 3 where they lie right now. Could be your final 3, as Danny Cochran, if you look at the history of Chicagoland, he is always there. If you look at the numbers, he won this race back in season 2. He then got the pole back in season 4. And the last time they ran here, got the pole and led the most laps that race. Did not win. It was John Forbes that took the victory last time we were here back in season 5. But know that 2 machine, he will fight and claw for everything here tonight. And with the 13 Cedric Hunter being his teammate, it's gonna be rough to try to talk to one another over the radio and say, hey, I want this win, oh, I want this win. And hopefully they play nice enough not to ruin their race completely.
I'll tell you what, too, Sam, looking at it now, too, they're on lap 100. So this is exactly in the realm of what they need to do here. So they'll be probably pitting this time. That'll set them up for one final run to the end. They could be in the money for this. I mean, right now, John Forbes is about 16.5 seconds back. So that tells me Forbes is going to have to make that up through the extra tires. That is going to be close coming down to the end of this stage, Green.
It's going to be close. And then also, when John pits, is what is he going to do on tires? Does he just pit for fuel? Or does he take 2? Does he take 4? That's going to be the big question for John Forbes if we continue to stay green, as John Forbes did have a blinking issue for a quick moment, but he is back out on track. Still 14 seconds back. He is gaining time quickly on our top 3. Larry Yingling, I think, might be out of touch and trying to stay ahead of Forbes, but looking at the 13 and the 2, I mean, this is incredible to see how far they were able to go, and now pit road is calling for both Cedric Hunter and Danny Cochran.
And that is excellent. Yeah, I don't think they'll have to save too much fuel this time, too. It's going to make it much easier on them as a group here coming down. So we'll see how this works out. Lap 101 they made it to, Sam. So they're only going to need to make it 48 laps here. So that's I think looking a lot better for them. We'll see how this works out for them.
As C. Presley Sora ripping the top, getting close to that outside wall. John Forbes takes the lead back. Nick Crawford was not able to hold in a position ahead of the 11. He will be passed as well. And now it's the charge. Will it be down to fuel? Is it down to tires? And will we stay green? So many questions, and they're about to be answered as we will take one of our final commercial breaks of the evening. It's been a pleasure to give you the call of the ISRC Larry R Productions Truck Series for Season 7. But tonight, we get ready to crown a champion. It's your JDF Performance Mod 150 ISRC Championship race. We'll crown a champion to just under 50 laps. We'll be back right after this. They're 5 wide behind for 5th.
Oh my, the 5 wide here, this ain't gonna work. They make it last, bumping and banging to the end. They're beating banging for the lead. Sora still with the shot here, coming off a 4. That's it.
It's bottom line, here it comes.
Oh, no, Carter gets wrecked. It's gonna be that Nick Crawford. The 74 gets through somehow, and they just completely demolish one another. Trinity driving down low, drifting up, trying to be the stealer. Here he comes, Cedric Hunter. He does it. He steals it.
But he somehow drove it into the corner to wreck
Oh, they wrecked. They wrecked each other. The top 2 bounced into one another. Just too much of side drifting off of, and they got to be careful. Oh no, and the 4 demolishes into 28.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the ISRC Larry R Productions Truck Series Season 7 Championship Race. If everything stays where we're at right now, that driver in the 11 machine will hoist the championship and be your champion this evening for Season 7 to be a 3-time champion back to back to back. But there are a lot of scenarios moving quickly right now. I don't think the championship is in trouble for the 11, but he certainly might be in trouble of losing time because Cedric Hunter, trying to turn this race into a two-stop, has found a way to save the fuel to hit his markers, and he's getting a lot of help from one of his teammates at the moment of Danny Cochran trying to whoa up and slow down the 11 of John Forbes. And this is lining up perfectly, Zach, because Cedric Hunter, he's running his normal pace. He's just staying low, saving fuel, while Danny is stuffing his rear end right on the clean air of John Forbes, and Forbes just has nowhere to go. The 11 has to back off more than usual, and Danny is just holding back this 11 machine.
And here comes the 67 too to get in the mix. This is CSR right here. This could be very well worked out for Cedric right here. Now the 67 is going to get side by side with the 11, and they have so much fresher tires that they can almost like play with the 11. You know, like kind of back up to him, you know, pull away, back up to him. So if you're Cedric Hunter, right now you're about 19.5 seconds back, and you know, a pit stop roughly, you're going to lose about, I think, 40, 45
Oh,
seconds.
there it is.
Yeah, he's got to do it quick. That's what I was about to say.
30 laps to go for John Forbes as he enters pit road. Going to be handing over the lead, Presley Sora, who is going to be ran down by Cedric Hunter here shortly. And for Larry Yingling, Danny Cochran, they did everything possible to try to slow down the 11 as much as possible. And I got to say, they did a fabulous job at holding him back, kind of playing some games like you said, and for the 2 and the 67 trying to help any way possible for at least one of their teammates to get into victory lane. I think the championship might be out of reach for Vincent Sora, but for the 13 is Cedric Hunter, the Hello Kitty machine, who's had so many historic finishes of kind of stealing the win at the end. He's going to be trying to do it once again here tonight, but he's going to have the driver with fresher rubber with 30 laps to go, trying to chase this 13, who's going to have the fuel to make it to the end. Presley soars now into pit road. It's now the chase. Is it Hunter, or will it be Forbes to win here tonight?
All right, the gap is 18 seconds. That is what it's going to be. Can he close it down in 30 laps? That's a quite considerable margin to close down, especially because I expect Cedric Hunter's times to start to even out here a little bit. He's going to start to see about maybe another 4 tenths at most, probably more drop off from his lap times, maybe 4 to 6 tenths here. You know, right now is when you're going to see the big times gain from John Forbes. He's already got it under 17. So you're going to see big chunks taken out right now. It's going to be important, though, 20 laps from now, will Forbes be able to have the pace still to be taken half a second at a time?
And those that had the tires that were playing games with the 11, now their tires are so gone, there's no way to stall out the 11 machine. He is on full bore, and it's all on John Forbes on how fast he can run and keep pace, while also trying to conserve the fact that these tires, like we've talked about all night long, they fall off a cliff quickly if you push them too far too quickly. The 11 machine of John Forbes has been the picture-perfect sign of how to protect your tires for the short run and the long run. But here we go, 14, a little bit less than 15 seconds. As Ford crosses the line, it's 14 and a half, almost dead center at 14 seconds. Forbes has plenty of time, but it's those last 15 laps, last 20 laps of this run that's going to be the tough part.
That is exactly right, Sam. And I did the math. He came out with about a 17 to 18 second gap there. He's going to need about 6 tenths of a second per lap. Right now, big chunks of time, of course, big game. But that game will start to drop. I went and looked at it. Around lap 20 to 25, you really start to hit the 32, 50s, 60s. That's exactly where Cedric is right now. So it quickly starts to drop off. I think that's going to be the problem for Forbes. We'll see how it works out. He's already getting past Cochran here, and this is going to hold him up just a little bit with Cochran perfectly sliding up in front of him. The 11 now going to come down low, and the 2 going to pull a little side draft. They're trying to slow him down. Everything they can do to hold that 11 back, they're trying.
Everything except for spin him out. Now it's Larry Yingling's chance to try to stall out this 11, but when you've got a driver that's running almost a second faster than you, almost a second and a half faster. It's tough to find small ways to slow him down. Danny Cochran perfectly was able to stall at least 2/10. Yingling, not even a chance. I think John Forbes recognized, I got to get by these teammates quickly, and now I got clean air. It's 10.5 seconds the difference between John Forbes and Cedric Hunter, and it's all on the 11 as a championship drive needs to be shown here tonight to run down and get a win, because the championship and hoisting it looks picture perfect as long as we stay green. They just want one more win to solidify all the many that he's gotten this season.
That he does, Sam. This is gonna be wild to see here because the gap has closed down a ton. I mean, you know, with 24 to go, it was under 10 seconds. That brings the average down to only 0.4 of a second. So he's already dropping that average down, and that's what he needs to do. He doesn't need to, you know, be seconds a lap faster every lap. He just needs those tenths of a second. And right now, again, it was a second and a half that last time by. This time here, about another second and a half. So 8.3. You know, at this point, I almost think he's going to catch him just with the gap that's closing down. But when he gets to him, I will say it's not going to be as easy as I think it is.
No, but I think the thing that's going to hurt Cedric Hunter is he's got a wall of lap traffic in front of him. He's got Garcia, the first driver to get by, but it's everyone from 8th, 9th, and 10th in front of this 13 Hello Kitty machine that could be the troublesome of just killing all the momentum. It's down to 7 seconds now between John Forbes and Cedric Hunter, and Forbes taking the risk, taking the gamble, went with the 3-stop, was trying his best to stretch the fuel, but with the pace he had, it was almost going to be too tough to make it into a 2-stop. Instead, why not utilize that speed? 3 stops, utilize the tires on the last run. It's shorter than any run we've seen so far, and Cedric Hunter and this Hello Kitty machine is trying everything in his power to put down fast laps, but they are not equaling in time. It's now 6 seconds between Hunter and Forbes.
I mean, Forbes' lap times are amazing right now. 31:32 that last time by, and that is on lap 8 of the run. A lot of times we've seen fall off around lap 10, around a second of fall off. The amount he's gaining right now, it can be, you know, very, very good sign right now, but I do worry, is he going too fast? You know, Forbes, you never know. Sometimes it is too fast. Sometimes it's just fast enough. So we'll see how it works out for him, but he is continually clicking off great lap times. That one at 31:402. Cedric Hunter, though, doing a great job of being at least consistent in the mid 32s.
Yeah, I mean, looking comparatively to those that have ran and went into pit road at the same times, Larry Yingling, Danny Cochran, I mean, Cedric's running great laps. I mean, he's 2/10 faster than Yingling and Cochran. The problem is John Forbes has 19 lap fresher tires. That is a major margin. Now you can see the 11 is getting clearer and clearer in the picture. It's 3.7 seconds. He's that dot of a machine that gets bigger and bigger in the mirror, while Cedric Hunter, he has to run low. Forbes, he can run wherever he wants, and he's got speed there.
If he keeps up this pace right here, he'll be there at about 4 or 5 laps from now. So I don't see it likely for Cedric Hunter to hold him off. Forbes is just showing a pace on a different level. I mean, right now, Forbes would be 20 seconds ahead of the driver pretty much on a similar strategy to him of Presley Sora. I mean, that is unheard of in this league. So, I mean, to put a stamp on your championship is, to say the least, is what he's doing right now. He is definitely doing that.
I mean, we talked about how Vincent Sora, he needed a picture-perfect race. He needed the pole. He needed to then be the driver that led the most laps, then just lead a lap, win the race. Forbes, on the other hand, he didn't need a picture-perfect race, but certainly he is showing that he can perform at it anytime he needs. As Hunter trying to get by Martin Morales, will be able to do so. Down to me, Jared Talmadge with fresh rubber, trying to get March the 61 around our current leader, but it's 1.5 seconds. There's a little bit of lap traffic around. This is hurting Hunter every lap that they go back and forth, but there is John Forbes entering into this season. Forbes was the driver that beat the curse, the championship curse that so many drivers could not find a way to get around. He went back-to-back championships, thought he would come back for a 3-peat, and he is on pace to be less than a second now to catch up, not just show that he can be a 3-time champion, but make a statement of a season with trying to grab now what would be his 7th win of the season if he can get by Cedric Hunter and continue to stay up front.
And I think this pass is not going to be the hardest. I talked about it being very difficult. He's about 8 tenths, 9 tenths quicker that last time by, just showing the new tires are just so strong. I think kind of underestimating how big of a difference it would be for a few of these guys out here. But Forbes trying to put definitely a huge statement, not only on this championship, but on his career. This is the final race of his career at ISRC. Wants to go out not only as a 3-time champion, but a race winner with probably one of his most dominant wins ever.
John Forbes seeing that Hello Kitty machine in front of him. And Cedric Hunter, late little block, trying to squeeze and pinch the 11 as much as possible. Gives space, gives the run, trying to give as much space as possible at the exit, but there's too much grip, there's too much speed. John Forbes has been picture perfect, and the driver going for the 3P makes the pass for the lead, and now set him on cruise control. John Forbes with 14 laps to go now just is counting down the laps until he gets the checker.
That he is. It's definitely going through his mind right now that this is just got to be a solid run to the end. Nothing too crazy, and you'll get back here with another race win in your pocket, another championship, and just, you know, a career full of memories here at ISRC to go through. So, well, what a job by him. And I tell you, I mean, he's the only one that's make this strategy technically work. Cedric Hunter, got to give him a valiant effort. He's, I mean, literally 11 seconds, 12 seconds ahead of anybody else on his strategy. So these two have been the class of their strategies, but the 11 just that little bit better than anybody tonight. And I mean, like I said, one of his most dominant performances is definitely shades of almost Homestead from last season.
It just was one of those races where you had a feeling that John Forbes was going to be there. You look at the past and how this 11's career has been so quick. We saw the potential back in season 1 that this 11 had a chance to have championship hopes. Back in season 2 of the ISRC, won the most races of anyone that season, but was taken out on lap 1 of the championship race and never even had a chance to run for that championship. Had a couple of woes here and there through the seasons 2, 3, 4, but when season 5 came around, you saw that old John Forbes. He emerged, took the championship, took the series by storm, and he has never let off the pedal. He has been accelerating by everyone in speed, and he does it another season around. Forbes now is trying to stay ahead of his teammate Cody Reed, who's trying to unlap himself and get now just become 1 lap down. Who knows? Cody Reed might just be playing a little bit of gunner, protecting his teammate and letting him have a full green run in front as Cody Reed just continues to ride. I mean, Zach, 10 laps to go for the 11 machine.
And it is 10 more to go and 10 more to put in the memory bank here, like I said, for his career. So, I mean, he's got this thing. If it stays green, I want to say in the bag. I don't want to say in the bag because if the yellow flag flies, crazy things have happened here at ISRC, so I don't rule out anything when it comes to that. But right now, John Forbes definitely loving the position he's sitting in, being out front. Cedric Hunter, though, looking solid to bring home second. I think the battle for third is going to be a very interesting one. Presley Soar about a half a second quicker than Larry Yingling, and he's got about 9 laps here to do this. So we'll see if the 12 can make his way up into the top 3.
Again, Precisora starting in the back, same with Cody Reed and Samuel Garcia that had to march their way through the field, and Presley was the most impressive one when he was doing so. And now for the 12, runs 4th, like it said, Zach. Still a lot of time to get moving forward. There is a few battles out on track with 8 laps to go. That is currently the Larry Art Productions crew that's being lined up. That's Danny Cochran, Ollie Fonseca. Cochran, old tires, hoping for a good run. Ollie Fonseca, though, talked about the fact that maybe some drivers would attempt with 2 tires as net coach showing for a quick moment. Cochran with a huge save for the 2 and a 4 on moment there, playing a little bit of silly games, almost got a silly reward. They'll still go back and forth, but Ollie Fonseca took 2 tires, Zach, and I was curious on how that was going to affect this 24. Danny, though, old tires willing to fight. Let's have some show with these laps ticking away.
Ooh, they're about to brawl here in the final few laps. I think Danny is willing to put it on the line. He has nothing to lose. We know that. We talked about it. Like, what would a driver do tonight? You know, if something crazy came up, well, you ain't going to get a penalty. There's nothing really on the line. So that 24 is just hanging on as you see him wiggling down the backstretch. And I think that's a lot to do with that 2-tire call. We've already seen the trucks be loose. That 2 tires line makes it more work.
It's certainly does make it worse, especially as the run progresses on. The outside wall scraped slightly for the 24. And Ollie Fonseca, Danny Cochran. I don't know if Larry's enjoying the show where he's at, seeing both the vehicles that he sponsors getting so close to one another, but they're not teammates. They can be as aggressive as they want. And Ollie Fonseca drifting it out of the corner. He keeps his foot in the throttle, and he still has a decent run to still stay on the back bumper of Danny here. And they continue to go back and forth with 6, soon to be 5 laps to go. John Forbes still leads this race, but will we stay green? Because wouldn't this be an ISRC moment for a late caution to put us in overtime as we've got ourselves 6 laps to go in this run?
Yeah, that would be the case here as this race has gone clean and green till the end. Fonseca's getting close to the back bumper. Cochran sliding up the racetrack here. These two are willing to risk it for this position. This racing is close, and this could be that caution that we fear.
Oh, that's the closest they've been besides that little bit of netcode contact going into turn number 3. Give us a show, Larry, our productions crew, as now Danny Cochran, Ollie Fonseca. This is for 7th place, and they're risking it all, and they're having some fun. And I think that's the big thing for these drivers. With Danny, with the fact that this is one of his last runs with this crew, why not race with one of the drivers that you practice week in and week out for so many seasons? You've had moments like this throughout all the different practice sessions. You know each other's limits. Why not prove it here in the final laps of running in this truck series? Oh, more contact. The big slide again.
Oh, these two, this is going to come to blows here down the front straightaway. They're banging doors now, and this is going to get very, very wild here down in the 1. Tempers are going to flare. They got to remember there's a race going on here. They're touching into 1.
Are they going to wreck with 2 laps to go, or are they going to wreck on the white flag? That's the true question. Is Ollie drifting up almost to the quarter panel to go back in line? Danny and Ollie, are they going to make this championship a little bit more interesting, or are they going to just continue to have some fun back and forth? Cody Reed still playing gunner for his teammate for going to be John Forbes, and Zach now is coming down just the final laps. It's crazy to say, but John Forbes, just 2 more laps to go. If he takes the white, this race is official.
That he wants to see, Sam. He is, I don't know if he has word of what's going on back in the backpack here, but he's wanting to see that white flag. He doesn't want to have any type of restarts, and I can tell you we could possibly have that, but John Forbes is definitely sailing down the back straightaway, trying not to see that.
He doesn't want to, but in front of him is where the action is, as the 11 of John Forbes exits out of turn number 4. Ollie Fonseca and Danny Cochran go back and forth, but the white flag is in hand. A champion will be crowned. That's going to be your white flag presented by Freaky Fast Broadcasting. John Forbes, he has proven every single season that he was a threat to watch out for. The last 2, he went back-to-back and proved they could beat the championship curse. This season was a statement season. He took the most winningest driver award from Mark Whitley earlier on. And off the exit of turn number 4, it's John Forbes, a 3-time ISRC Larry R Productions Truck Series winner.
Great job by Forbes, and I tell you what, he closed it out with the excellent performance with another win in the bag. Cedric Hunter, I mean, what a valiant effort for him. Only 3 seconds back. He held on very well there after getting passed by 11 and just ran out of time. I mean, if he had 3, 4, 5 more seconds, he wins that race. So I think for Cedric Hunter, you can hang your hat on that. He had probably your best race of the season here at the end. And Larry Yingling, he holds on the 3rd. So great job by him with the strategy also for a 2-stop.
Great runs all around, and for John Forbes, he ends the season with 5 poles, 7 wins, 5 stage wins, 14 top 5s, 15 top 10s after 17 races ran. The 11 did everything perfect here tonight, and now it's John Forbes, your official 3-time champion. Back to back ISRC Larry R Productions Truck Series champion. Enjoy this one, John, the last ride, and he certainly gave us a show. Congratulations to the 11 machine as well, to Cedric Hunter, Larry Yingling. That's your top 3. We will be back for the post-race show where we'll talk to those 3 drivers and maybe a spotlight one, and we will have a conversation with them. We will be back right after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the post-race show for Season 7 of the ISRC Larry R Productions Truck Series. We've seen some very much highs and extreme lows as we head to victory lane and also the crowning area, you could say, for our 3-time champion. John Forbes is your winner of the JDF Performance Mod 150, the ISRC Championship race. John, how does it feel for the 3rd season in a row to be called the ISRC Larry R Productions Truck Series champion for Season 7?
Yeah, just coming into this league when I first started, like, 4 or 3 years ago now. It was really like the first league I had done, and it was I just kind of wanted to prove myself in some way, and that's kind of just been the thought throughout the last 7 seasons now. It's been really long time. This was probably my last run in this league and the ISRC guys, and I just gotta say it's been such a fun ride. All the ups, all the downs, like you guys said. I mean, just season 1 getting wrecked out, just like every time I had a chance to win. To season 2 getting some wins in, and then getting taken out on the championship race that season. They really just kind of lit the fire from there on to really pick it up, and I've gained so much iRating, so much skill in iRacing since joining this league, and it's it's just been a long ride. So it's great to finish it up with 3 in a row. I can basically say I've accomplished everything there is to accomplish, and I've set the bar really high for guys coming into this league in the coming seasons, and just met so many awesome guys, so many of my closest friends now, and it was just so much fun coming every single Monday. So definitely gonna miss it to some extent, but everybody's kind of moving on at this point. But yeah, just awesome to get this done and have a trophy to show for it for this season.
Definitely awesome, John. First off, man, congrats on the 3-time championship. That is, I mean, coming from a driver myself, that's a feat that many don't pull off, man. So definitely cherish that. I'm sure you will. And also a great race winner tonight. So I'm going to kind of go to the race. I know the championship is a huge thing, but man, what a dominant performance from me tonight. I mean, it just looked like from the drop of the green flag, you had it from their control. Take us through the first pit stop, because from there, I mean, it was never even a question other than other guys on a different strategy. I mean, take us through that, because you just really executed during that sequence.
Yeah, coming into the race, I really wanted to go long. I did, because obviously it was week 13, week 14, whatever you want to call it, in iRacing this week, and one of the tracks that they went to for the trucks was at Chicagoland. So I did a bunch of races that day. I was racing with a bunch of the Nexus Esports guys, and it really helped me prepare. I mean, I was just up with their speed, and they were beating me, showing me things that I didn't know. So it really just helped set the stage for what I was going to need to do tonight. And I figured if it went long, because it just got tough when a lot of cautions were coming out in those races during the week, because it became a tire lottery, and you didn't know if somebody was going to like loop in front of you. So keeping it clean was just the way I wanted to go. And obviously we went the entire race green. So that was really what I wanted coming in. Knew that the car count was going to be lower for tonight. So I figured there was a good chance of it. But then from there, I just kind of locked into what I needed to do. Tried a few different lines at the beginning when Vinny was kind of getting close to me, but I figured that just the bottom was going to be the way to go for the weather and stuff, how it was set up for the track today. So, yeah, just the whole race, kept it clean, kept it green, and had a couple little mistakes, stuff with guys getting by. Like Danny on that last long run before I made my last stop, I caught him, and I thought I was going to go right by him like I did with Vinny. And then I just could not pass Danny. I mean, I was trying everything, trying the top, entering behind him, trying to get him loose. The middle was just so bumpy, it's hard to pass there. So yeah, I just figured, okay, I have to pit it here. It took me off my original strategy. I was just going to run it almost dry, because I had I was 5 short on fuel, and I was just going to throw a splash in there, take 2, and try and finish it up that way. But when I was stuck behind Danny, I was like, okay, I've burned my tires up. I'm not going to be able to make the pass under natural race conditions here. So decided to bring it on pit road, and that was the play. I saw Cedric had like 13, 14 seconds on me coming out, and I was a little worried. I didn't know where he was like in his fuel run. I know he was taking a stop off basically by saving, but quickly I realized when I was gaining like a second lap, I was like, okay, I mean, it's not going to take too long. We don't have a lot to worry about. And then just coming to the end there, I had Cody behind me. Awesome to have him pushing me behind, because we've been teammates basically since the start. So that was awesome for us to finish like next to each other like that. and just overall just an awesome night.
I mean, John, if this is your last run with this series, you're one of 6 drivers that have almost made it to every race. I know a lot of you guys haven't made it to every single one, but you're part of a very elite group that's been here since the beginning. How does this championship rank though for yourself of the 3 that you've got now back to back to back?
Yeah, obviously the first one, just because I had to overcome so much to get that first one, and all like the heartbreaks and stuff I had to go through to finally get that one. That one obviously meant the most. But these next 2 were really just about like just kind of proving a point, setting the bar as high as I can, and I knew I was becoming really high skill levels, like as far as an iRacing driver goes, and like racing with guys outside of the league and like being in the college series. It's really made me step up my game compared to kind of what I was used to, because this series, it used to be the bar for me when I first started. I mean, a lot of the guys had years on me, had experience on me, so I was learning a lot from them. And I got to a point where I was racing with these pro guys, learning from like Logan Clampett stuff every week. He was giving me like pointers and stuff for the races. So having that behind me just really helped advance me as a driver. And now I'm at a point where I feel like I just need to move on from this and get to the kind of the next level. Start really putting my time into things like Road to Pro, and start really putting a good run together for the events and other things in iRacing like that.
Well, John, with this season, you were going to be up there in the top numbers between yourself and Vinny, in top 10s, top 5s. You're the most in wins, most in poles just for this season. You look at your career, you're 3rd in poles all time. You are for sure number 1 all time in wins now with your 21st career win. You're the top of the board in top 5s and top 10s, so you have certainly set the bar. Now, John, the floor is yours for any shout outs, goodbyes, thank yous before we call it an evening.
Yeah, obviously, I thank you guys for just being there for every broadcast for this league. I mean, it's just been an awesome run. Always look forward to coming back and looking at the broadcast, and even seeing how far you guys have progressed since we first started. I mean, just the little things you guys have added, like the intros and stuff like that. It's always cool to see how you guys are evolving. And obviously, I'll still be racing WSSR and some other leagues you guys do. So looking forward to keeping going with that and making a good run for the WSSR championship as well this season. Obviously, I gotta thank God for just always helping me, just giving me wisdom to get through a lot of these wrecks and stuff. I know a lot of these guys call me like super lucky and stuff getting through, and obviously that helps, like hitting the wall on something and you just get the help of iRacing. But sometimes things are out of your control, and just having a helping force in that just goes a long way. Getting a lot of these wins done and stuff, keeping yourself in position. And then SDR, gotta thank them. I mean, they've picked me and Cody up, and we've just been a dominant force since then. I think we've won all the team championships since we got together. And I know like Norris is stepping away, but Cody will be back this next season. So excited to see what he's going to do. I mean, he can obviously put a championship run together going forward. Then got to thank my brother, always putting the paint schemes together. I mean, I look at him too. He's progressed from not even knowing what a paint scheme is, what a spec map is, what any of this stuff is, to making some pretty cool schemes and things that would compete with some like what Mark Whitley's painter Brantley puts out and stuff. So yeah, gotta thank all my friends, family watching. My parents have been watching every single race basically since the broadcast started. Since I started doing league stuff, they've always been there to support me through. And obviously it just means a lot with all the guys I've met and stuff through the seasons. Like Danny, Vincent. I mean, a lot of my closest friends, Jarrett, Talmadge, Tom, just a lot of guys I gotta thank for just always being there, always offering support. The Bristol meetup we do every year with a bunch of guys. I mean, these are those things that wouldn't have come together without this league. So it's just been awesome to have a lot of these opportunities arise, and a lot of friends I'm gonna have for the rest of my life, basically. Yeah, that's all for tonight, guys. Thank you.
Well, John, it was a pleasure to call all the races that you got into victory lane, all the championships you got to hoist. Congratulations on becoming your ISRC Larry R Productions Truck Series champion for season 5, 6, and now crown him season 7 champion. John, congratulations on an amazing run. Congratulations on an amazing ISRC Truck Series career. Good luck on your future ventures. Enjoy this one. And I can't wait to see what amazing things you do in the future.
Thank you, guys.
That will be your winner here tonight, your champion as well. We got plenty of other drivers to talk to. We're going to go down to second place to talk to the machine of the 13 of Cedric Hunter. And Cedric, we talked before the race. I'll say it to you, man. You come away second. How are you feeling after this performance?
I think you know exactly what I'm going to say. I am so freaking happy. Not because of the finish, because this shit is done. I cannot wait. Sorry for cussing, but I'm so happy the offseason's here. I said last week, 11 p.m. on Monday was what I was looking forward to. Second place was great. Unfortunately, came really close to a win. That didn't pan out. I don't think obviously nobody was touching Johnson. Maybe outside of strategy, and even then, I guess I was the only person that was even remotely close to getting it done. Yeah, I mean, it was a good race. I mean, we went green, which is pretty much what I was been asking for and kind of hoping for the entire season. So we finally did it. It took 18 races or whatever to get it done, but proud of this league. They were able to prove to themselves and to the rest of us, I guess, that they are able to not wreck for 150 laps. So I'm proud of them.
Definitely a great finish for your season, though, Cedric. I know it's been tough, and you're clearly ready for it all to be over with. But I mean, a great run tonight. Still, I mean, take us through the strategy, because how tough was it even saving the fuel? Because we didn't see many others do it, surprisingly.
Yeah, I cannot get English out of my mouth. The strategy really only started happening, I guess, probably around with 10 laps to go in the first run, so give or take around lap 38, 39, where I kind of glanced down at the fuel and I was like, I am a lap and a half short for making it to 50. I'm gonna start saving now. Which I was really surprised that nobody else. When I saw Nick pit early, and he's the guy for strategies. I thought for sure as soon as I saw him pit, I was like, maybe everybody else knows something that I don't. And then kind of halfway through, or I guess when I came off pit road and I raced my way back up to second or third there, I was kind of scratching my head why nobody else did the strategy. Obviously, if I was just a smidge faster, or if he was just slower, it would have been an easy win. But I mean, he had stupid good pace tonight. So congrats to him for the race win and also the championship. Much deserved. He obviously has the most wins this season with, I think, 7. So I think the person that has been the best over the course pretty much of the season won the championship, so it's well deserved. And yeah.
Well, Cedric, I know there's been a lot of talks over these last couple of weeks of drivers saying that they're not returning, that this was kind of their last ride for the ISRC Truck Series. Is this your final go at running this series, or are you planning on coming back for next season?
I guess the bigger question is there going to be a next season? No, I'm planning on hanging it up, man. I have no interest in racing these trucks. They're terrible vehicles, and I think anybody that likes them is clearly delusional. So yeah, no, I don't plan on racing these things. I'm gonna take Mondays off. I'm gonna practice for the charity event coming up. I'm gonna for next week, I'm gonna start practicing then. I'm gonna practice also for the Daytona 24. It'll be a good practice night for other stuff. So looking forward, I guess, to everything that's gonna start here after the holidays. Well, obviously there's a lot of stuff. Like I said, the charity race is kind of the very first thing of the year. Which I'm super looking forward to that. That's gonna be a lot of fun. Hopefully, Zach and Robert can end up getting some blue hair on the end of it. That'd be pretty great. Yeah, no, I don't plan on returning, man. I'm chilling.
Well, Cedric, it was a blast to see your career here in this truck series. I know there's been a lot of seasons where you thought about saying the same thing, but it was fun to watch your wins, the memorable moments that you gave us. Congratulations on second here tonight. And before we let you go fully, the floor is now yours for any other shout out, thank yous, and goodbyes you want to say.
I appreciate it. Yeah, without harping too much on the league, I'll say, a huge thank you to the admin team for all their hard work and stuff like that throughout the seasons. And thank you to my teammates for, I guess, bringing me in 2 seasons ago, I believe. Unfortunately for them, I kind of peaked, I guess, at season 3 and haven't done anything since. So, couldn't bring back the winning pace, and unfortunately, getting I think tonight was probably the closest I've gone to victory lane since I came back after season 4. But it is what it is. we're getting up there in age. We're a little washed up, but we do what we can, and sometimes we luck ourselves into good finishes like tonight. So yeah, shout out to my teammates, shout out to the admins, shout out to you guys, obviously, everyone watching, and best of luck to pretty much everyone for next season. Hopefully, I mean, I'll still be tuning in, and yeah, hopefully they go back to their peak form of seasons past. So, fingers crossed.
We're hoping for that as well. Well, Cedric, thank you for giving us, like I said, great moments to call and a fantastic run here tonight. It was great to see your potential of almost taking the win. Enjoy your break. Enjoy taking Mondays off, and can't wait to see your future racing and how that goes for yourself.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Have a good night.
You too. That's going to be second place runner of Cedric Hunter. We now go down to third to talk to another driver who had a great run here tonight in the 67. It's Larry Yingling. Larry, you come away third here tonight. I know you were trying the similar strategy as Cedric, stretching it out to stop. How are you feeling coming away with third here this evening?
Oh, feeling great. I haven't really had much great finishes this season, and I definitely got lucky with everyone else, most people not doing a two-stopper, but I'm just glad something went my way, excluding Atlanta.
Yeah, definitely great to see you have another great run, Larry. I mean, it seemed like, that second run, you gave up a lot of time there to make sure you could stretch it farther, and the next set of runs really gained a lot of time. So what kind of changed there? Was that the mentality? Was it just making sure you got to a certain number for that last final pit stop?
Yeah, I just wanted to do one extra lap in the second run so I can go a little harder in the final run if I needed to. And I think good thing I did because Presley and I think Miller were closing in on me.
I mean, Larry, like you said, this was not the season I think a lot of expected you to have. The luck kind of wasn't there, but at moments you showed signs of quick pace. Are you planning on coming back if there is another season to come back and race these trucks, or is it just the one season that was enough for yourself?
Never say never, but probably not, especially if it stays with the trucks. I mainly came here after the truck had some physics overhaul, and I feel like somehow it became worse.
Well, Larry, again, we were hoping for better stuff just because we thought you were going to see that speed, but this truck's so different from what, like you said, we were expecting it to turn into. We still cannot wait to see how you perform on Wednesday nights, but for this evening, the floor is now yours for any other shout outs, thank yous, and before the season is over.
Yeah, shout out all my teammates this season: Vincent Sora, Cedric Hunter, Danny Cochran, and Shane Terrian for a few races, along with Kevin Hashbrown and Ryan Kelly. Shout out to you guys for broadcast, and congrats to John on the title.
That will be your 67 machine of Larry Yingling coming away third here tonight. Congratulations, Larry, on a great finish this evening. And if you don't return, enjoy your Mondays moving forward.
Thank you, sir.
Larry Yingling, again, we see on Wednesday nights. Same for John Forbes, Cedric Hunter. So if you want to see those drivers on course more, we will see them on Wednesday in the WSSR Cup Series. Zach, I think that's kind of been a lot of conversation is there going to be another season? But this season 7 still give us some great moments, even with all those that are saying they might be hanging it up on Monday nights.
Yeah, it does sound like a good portion of the people, at least, who, I mean, the three who probably in the booth tonight, of course, aren't coming back. But they've also been guys that have been here for a while. I mean, others than Yingling. Cedric has been here, in and out. Every now and then he'll come through. But John, of course, been here since the beginning. So it's, it's just certain times with people, and certain people just don't like driving the trucks as much. It's a lot of times a preferential. Sometimes the things comes down to what vehicle you're driving. It's not even the league. So it's going to be definitely a huge question this all season of what all is going to go on. But I think, they still have the grounds here to come back strong. And I think if we do have another season, we're going to come back with a lot of new fresh faces.
Yeah, the new era that we're expecting if we come back for season 8, because there are a lot of drivers that there is high potential if they return. I know if Cody Reed comes back, he's going to be fighting. I know Ethan Smith wants another season because he wants his revenge tour that he's been saying he wants, and he really wants another season to come back in. I know for us it'd be a joy to see another season to continue this great league that has been around for so long. But before we call it an end of the season fully, let's take a look at our unofficial results. John Forbes took a 3-stop strategy and made it work. Somehow found the pace to be 3 seconds ahead of Cedric Hunter, who stretched it out for the 2-stop. Larry Yingling as well went for a 2-stop, was able to defend and hold back Presley Sora and Michael Miller for 4th and 5th. Nick Crockford was able to find himself in that 6th place position, pitted 3 times as well. Same for Oli Fonseca in 7th, who had his great duel back and forth with Danny Cochran. Ultimately, the blows came to where Danny had to fall down to 9th, where Vincent Sora was able to get by. Finishing out our top 10, it goes to the 61 of Jared Talmadge.
What a way to close out the season here, Chicagoland. Wild strategies, big gaps, and definitely a lot of different things as you look to the rest of the order. Just, I think one I got to highlight, shout out to Christopher Norris. I know you didn't get the race here tonight, bud, but we'll definitely be missing you on Monday night. So tough inning for him for his season, but definitely we'll miss that 38 truck.
Absolutely. Again, drivers that are leaving, we had 6 drivers that have been here for almost every race, that being Tyler Dangler, Cody Reed, Danny Cochran, Martin Morales, Christopher Norris, and John Forbes, and 3 of the 6 announcing that they are not returning: Danny Cochran, Norris, and John Forbes. And it's been great to see all their ebbs and flows and careers and seeing the growth that some of these drivers have had from where they started all the way back in season 1 to now season 7. It's been a pleasure to be able to call all those races as well. But for us up at the booth, we still have one more race to call before we go into our holiday break. Crazy to think 2024 is almost out of here as the ISRC Larry Art Production Truck Series Season 7 concludes. If they do come back, we've been told it's expected to be late February, early March might be the window that they're looking for. So we're going to be off on Mondays for quite a while. But we will be continuing on with Wednesday and Thursday once we come back into 2025. As WSSR, we're still in the thick of things. We're still in the first half of the regular season, as their next race is going to be a barn burner you don't want to miss. As when we come back for 2025, I mean, Zach, we're trying something new for the WSSR Cup Series, heading to a different track. And then also we check out for the drivers on Thursday night when we come back. We will be having 2 more races left to see who will be the champion for the Doghouse Cup Series. But I'm excited for this upcoming race for WSSR. Tomorrow, for Wednesday night, we are going to a brand new track that we have not seen these Cup cars, these next-gen Cup cars go to. And Zach, the new update with iRacing and the next gen and also Dirt, we were talking about it. This might be a very tough race upcoming on Wednesday for the WSSR Cup Series.
Yeah, folks. If you want to see a giant stock car drive around a track in Spielberg, Austria, then come join us on Wednesday night for sure. It's going to be, I think, an amazing race. The track is really a fun one. It's the Red Bull Ring. If anybody's seen it in Formula One before, great track that always produces great racing. And that, I think, it's going to be even better than the stock car as we slip and slide around that place. But the thing is, you brought up, Sam, is the gravel. There's a ton of gravel traps around the track, and this new debris update, I don't know if many people have gotten to try it out there, if the viewers have it, but it is a huge game changer. Marbles are a huge thing, not only, but the gravel and the dirt and the sand, those things are huge. I mean, when you get gravel on the track, you're going to see people make mistakes. So not only will the drivers have to deal with a stock car around a Formula One track, they're going to have to deal with a track that you're going to have debris on from gravel. And also another thing we added this season, I know that a lot of people are kind of glancing over the fact is a 15 incident drive-through penalty. So if you get 15 incidents, you're going to have a drive-through, and that track is all about staying in the white lines. So drivers going to have to be picture perfect not to have huge issues there.
It's going to be a fun one again. Don't miss out as we go to the Red Bull Ring for WSSR this upcoming Wednesday. And then that'll be our last race of 2024. We'll be back in 2025. We still have our charity race event January 4th. It's our 6 hours of Daytona. Heard from Cedric, he's got some practicing to be done. We also have practicing to be done in the broadcast booth as rehearsals, testing. It's all going to be setting up for an amazing event that we cannot wait for those that are watching, those that are going to be racing, to be along with this ride as the 6 hours of Daytona charity race that we have partnering up with Breakthrough T1D, formerly known as JDRF. We're so proud to be working with them to raise money to either find a cure to stop type 1 diabetes and as well try to find ways to help families that are dealing with the disease. We are so excited again. January 4th, if you want to be either donate, participate in the race, or just share, go to our social media sites where you can find the links of the charity race, our 6 hours of Daytona. Well, 7 seasons have now completed for the ISRC Layer Up Productions Truck Series, and John Forbes has won now this and the last 2 championships. He says this is the last ride. The question is, if there is a season 8, who will take the crown and try to hoist that one? It's been a fun season, Zach. Any final thoughts before we conclude this season as a whole?
Well, again, shout out John Forbes on the championship. It was a dominant performance, man. Shout out to all the other drivers too. Vince Sora, he put on a heck of a battle with John. Really pushed John to new levels this season, I feel like. He also had a lot of the other guys right in the mix. And again, shout out to not only the admins that helped keep it done, but also, Larry from Larry Arts Productions. That guy is a huge supporter of this league. And I think he doesn't get enough credit for what he does to really, make things happen here. So it's great having someone like that. They know that can back them, and I'm sure that league is, the league here is really grateful for that. So shout out to him, everybody else who tunes into on a weekly basis, and hopefully we'll be back here on Monday nights at some point and calling races here like we normally do.
Cannot wait for it as the ISRC Truck Series Season 7 concludes. John Forbes takes your JDF Performance Mod 150 victory and as well takes the ISRC Championship for himself. For us here this evening, though, we want to say thank you to everyone that participated in chatting with us, those that were engaging and just watching, sharing the stream. Thank you to all the nights that you're out there watching our broadcasts here on Freaky Fast Broadcast. For myself, Sam Dyer, for Zach Hall, for Robert Moyer Jr., and everyone else a part of Freaky Fast, thank you for joining us on your Monday evening. Your ISRC Layer Up Productions Truck Series champion goes the 11 of John Forbes, now a 3-time champion. Again, who will come in and fill the shoes that the 11 made massive? Cannot wait for it if we're back for Season 8 again in a few months if they return. But if you want to see more racing action, we got you covered. Wednesday night, we return, and we're heading to Austria. For the Red Bull Ring, we get to see these next-gen stock cars hit the course for WSSR Cup Series. Can't wait for it. Wednesday is our next Freaky Fast broadcast.